Tobo Kekula, who is the project coordinator. There's a few weeks ago, he came on a unfortunate attack. He house was altered with fire. He nearly lost his life with his 3 children. He was saved by the mercy of God. So as I speak to you, we faced a little bit challenge because he was one of the guys very instrumental. He's a hard-working employee of the Monrovia City government. And we want to bless God. The entire house burned down to actually he walked away with nothing. But most interestingly, we grateful to God for his life. He was able to walk away with 3 kids. He was temporarily taken to SOA clinic, and by the grace of God, he has recuperated gradually, but he still has, we opting to see how he can treat, he can have further medical treatment. So basically, that is the challenge we have now with the waste department. As you may be aware, when we took this office newly, we were very charged with logistical challenges, and through the intervention of the European Union, the World Bank, and our foreign partners, they brought a little bit sanity in our waste challenge with that. But notwithstanding, even though Mr. Kekula is going through a very, very unfortunate, reaching speedy recovery, we also trying to maintain the city as we move towards the festive season. We again want to ask our citizenry, like we normally say to you, waste is not just an individual business. It is everybody's business. If we must keep this city clean, it must be driven from the mindset of each and every Liberian must become decent. That yes, indeed, waste is something that is totally unacceptable in legal disposal of waste. So basically, that's what we are. We're making some strides. We hope to be more robust because as we go closer to the festive season, the production of waste get more than ever before.
Okay, so as we get into the festive season, as you said, the production of waste gets more than before. What are some of the plans MCC is now putting in place to make sure that we have a very clean city during the Christmas season?
Well, we're trying to work to the president's office. We work with the international community. We're trying to see how we can see how we can put out 25,000 young person. We want to get a part-time job. The president did it before. We're trying to appeal to him, even when we can pay them $25, for that. So we want to have at least 25,000 young person. We want to put them on the street, so we have a part-time job for their Christmas, where they can be able to keep the city clean. But that having, so that the media go very clear, we have written the president, and that we are opting to see how we can be able to talk to him, and we're also trying to talk to our international friends so we can have a part-time job for young people as we get very closer to the festive season, so that they can get something to at least. So the technician with this in the city government, we have put together. So we're looking about basically about 25,000 young persons. We want to ensure effectively the 1st of January, the 1st of December, so we can be able to put them to work, so that at least some of them can be able to walk away with something for their Christmas. I really want to see to empower them. Times are hard, which I have the capacity to be able to create. And we're very grateful. The president did a lot for us. There were 8,000 of them about the coronavirus. He was able to provide $1.2 million that were able to pay each and every one of them while they were making $60 per month. I think they took $120. So this time around, we are appealing to him. Although our 25 United States House, we have done the concept note, we have presented it to him. Hopefully, we hope the president can be able to approve that. If the president can help us with our international, then we can tell you the 1st of December, we can tell you 25,000 young persons will be put on the street in the federal community. They will be seen cleaning and giving a city, they will be giving their city a facelift.
So, last from my end as it relates to waste management, COVID-19 since March, has this affected the operations of the MCC in any way, especially as it relates to the non-funding coming in?
Obviously, we have a dramatic and a drop down in our revenue collections. On this note, we want to say thank you to the finance minister because we have some challenges here. He were able to intervene, but as a city, I think this COVID, because of a lot of, as I speak to you, all of our transfer station is loaded now. All our transfer station were because like normally we have the transfer station is a temporary holding place where you can be able to, from the transfer station, you take the waste to the landfill. So the COVID-19 affected our revenue generation, generating budget quickly. People were unable to live up to it, and even staff was being laid off because of the health measures and protocol that were being put into place. So I think it affected us greatly, and that's why we also talking to our donor partner so they can see need for their continued intervention where we can be able to solve some of those things. Like I'm telling you, the city waste management is a very complex responsibility, and that's where we expect our people, more especially the residents of Monrovia, to help us in this drive, in this patriotic, nationalistic drive, to give our city a facelift. Now you're quite right. We were drastically affected, if I may say to you.
Okay, Mayor Kochi, thank you very much for giving us update regarding the city. But let's go to the protests today. Today we were out. We saw a couple of young people who claimed to be from the COP, and they came out to protest. And we saw you around the Capitol building, that is Capitol Hill. You were walking alone. Can you tell us why you decided to be to that place at that time when the guys were saying they were going out there to protest? Was it a provocation?
No, you see, you have to get this very clear. I like the fact that we thought we were going to have this conversation about the development about the Monrovia City government, but quite frankly, I'm a respecter of democracy. I'm an admirer of democratic tendencies. I never ever go against any democratic tendency that geared towards improving our democracy. Well, on a normal routine, I had an engagement with Busa Quarter this morning, and I thought, as the mayor of the city, if I cannot be saved in the city, then I do not want to be the mayor. I do not need an array of security. You know, interestingly, you press people, if I were walking this morning with huge people, say, oh, but the mayor is passing, and you want to provoke people. But quietly, I went down to Busa Quarter this morning. I had a very successful interaction with the citizens. We have an engagement, they have their issues. This issue has been presented to me. Well, I just walked lonely, and interestingly, I saw you in a car. You want to interview, I interviewed me around the spot. You didn't do that, and I think you were running, chasing at this spot, and I came across one of your Cody, and I want to say thank you to this president. He has proven clearly that he is indeed second to none in terms of respecting democratic tendencies of our country. He has conspicuously provided in our political democratic space the freedom of convergence. Well, you can say our former president, Madam Johnson Sirleaf, that I can say it without stupor, that yes, indeed, she provided the semblance of what you call freedom of expression in this country, I would say that to you, even though many of the time I was being invited by the police for what I said, and I was being placed beyond bar for some of the things. But in a much those things were happening, but it didn't prevent us from having our voices being heard. So like I can say to you clearly, she did some, but all this regime, this president have ensured a clear freedom of expression, and he have introduced an element that was not introduced by the then president. Freedom of conversion. You can converge at any given point in time, and I think it is a big deal about democracy, and we appreciate that. And I will look forward that even after him as the president, let us be sustained, because our democracy must be, these are things that appear to flourish our democracy. My person today, but there's a simple thing, I normally do these things. Sometimes I walk, I come to work. That's how I feel things. I walk, coming to work, it gives me an opportunity to interact with the people. Is a sense of belonging, understanding exactly. I'm a person, I'm a hands-on character. I like to know. Because more often when you are the leader, you are out there. You normally just being briefed. But I want to tell God, thank you. I'm in this space with so much energy as a young person. Walking down the street, not going to cause me a harm. Running, it's not going to cause me. So it's for me, it's not different. It's a normal life. I'm a normal human being. So I will walk down the street any day. I will go down to Bruce Quarter, slavery, interact with the people. Other people who make news of those things is because they are different. They are not, they are not natural. Those are fake individuals, unless people are God. So today, it was just a normal routine, a routine of what you call community engagement, citizen engagement. That's what I did. So I just walk past through and know normally you media people. Once Koji is on the street, you often want to know the purpose of his being on the street.
Are there extra activities you are involved with outside of waste management?
Oh yes, most especially this time we also engage into what you call partnering with a lot of civil society institutions. You can remember just last week we were here with a group of people called Book Before Girls, young enterprising women who potential of being discovered with them. For me, where I say, whatever it entails to give back to the community in which that I am belonging to, I would definitely not hesitate to do that. Belong to a particular generation, and I think I owe that generation where I say. So that's why people think, no, it's not just about the news, about the impact. And so doing these things is cultivated in our nature, because we believe people, policy makers who sit beyond these offices must be obligated to these kind of initiatives. So yes, engaging too many other aspects. We're partnering, very soon we'll also be working with another group called the Messenger of Peace. And, they involve in civil society. There will be other things, initiatives, brilliant, it's geared toward fostering the growth and development of our city. And our country in particular, we will not hesitate, we will also contribute toward that.
Mayor, what do you make of the protest? I just want to bring you back to the issue of protest. What do you make of the protest? I mean, are the guys' points actually genuine for them to come outside and gather?
You see, like when I say to you, these people need to get certain orientation. You need to understand, I'll be honest with you, we were yesterday, we're exactly where they are. Sometimes it's a pity. Even the athletes, you might know when to get on the stage and when to leave the stage. If you do not understand these fundamental basics of reality, then you are nothing less but a historical gate crasher. Because some of these things, when you are propagating the message, it is not by you. It's about the interest of the people. So you must be prepared, you must have the Pareto eye to understand the wishes and aspirations of the people. I don't think the Liberian people prepared. Like I often say to people, the Liberian people have gone through a lot. What a civil conflict. What a political rule. This is a country where you have 173 years. They have gone through a lot. So, in their understanding, if you want to help them and you claim to be, an advocate, a champion of their collective interest, you must also be condescending or sensitive to their plight. Do you think that these people want solution through protestation? Do you think that they want a solution that are going to bring untold suffering or panic or pandemonium? People are suffering. They try to find their daily bread. People can't even find food to eat. They are struggling. And you say the only way you can help them is to distribute fear and panic. Even the mother, when you say that going in the market, even though things are not okay, but she found the courage to want to go down to Jakarta market to go and sell a potato grain or to go and sell a charcoal, hoping that when that sales is being made, the return will be used to cater to the family. But good friend, you come and say, I will protest here. I will protest here for 1 month. I will protest here. You creating fear. Do you have remedy to sustain the poor family that's residing in Nukuta, that residing in Busequata, that residing in PhD? Do you care? Or slavery? Do you care about that? So that I said people must have certain orientation to understand exactly who, unless they tell me they are pretending, do not fight. If you're fighting for the people as supreme, then you will understand what the people need at a particular point in time. When the people converge, when you call them, when they came to you, that coming was to go x-ray you, to find out whether you really mean what you say or what you preach. But unfortunately, the people have got to realize that, quote unquote, those people who parading, they have gone to know, people have gone to know, there are people who have, incorporated with self-interest. They don't mean well for these people. So you're not going to get the people's support. All is not well in this country. But I think it is about time we rally around this president so we can find solution to the people's situation. We cannot consistently think that you want to terrorize and you want to keep the people hostage. Only because you say you want to prove a point and you want to be seen as a savior or as a champion for the people. I don't think the Liberian people prepare for such championing.
Mayor, let me just come back to the point of protest in Liberia. It is perceived that the CDC came to power as a result of your past continuous protest actions during President Johnson Sirleaf's tenure. Now, are you afraid that the trend taking, which is threading the same path you came from, could bring other people to power? Is that why you're afraid?
That is fundamentally erroneous. At no point in time, anyone who holds such perception, that person is a perpetual citizen in utopia. We did at no point in time. And that's why I said to you, under this President George Monrovia, he has added something new. But these people, I can tell you frankly, if Madam Sirleaf could have given all the latitude in which President Weah is giving these people, I can say to you, the story would have been different.
You paraded with caskets.
Well, you say paraded. We're not even permitted the latitude in which that these guys are enjoying. You mean at the Capitol building to converge there, and be permitted? Oh my God! It was a moment that we were longing for, but those moments were never ever given to us. And just the point I want to make to you. You say affair? No. In fact, we entertain it. We entertain it. And that's why because we knew that these people have no ideological understanding of what they preach. And that's why They have dissipated in thin air. They have been exposed. These people are fraudsters. The Liberian people have discovered them. And that's why their voice has lost the weight of admiration with the people. Because the people have discovered their true nature. If you have a cause, that cause will be, that cause will be purchased by the people. But they don't understand. It is about themselves. It's about personal glorification. It's about self-decorated interest, selfish. That is the situation. So we can say to you clearly that we got no fear. We entertain them. We support them. And that's what the president talked clearly to the security. Look, these people must be protected. Even water. Say the police, they should be their water. We give them water June 7, January. We took care of them throughout.
Mayor Koji, your city, Monrovia, there has been a series of mysterious deaths over the past month or so. A lot of this is instilling fear in the residents of your city. What has been your own level of engagement with the Liberia National Police and other stakeholders doing to allay these kinds of fears and stop these kinds of quote-unquote killings from taking place in your city?
Well, thank you, Tulu. Thank you. I think that's a very salient point. And I want to say to you, yes, indeed, I want to extend my deepest condolences to all of the bereaved family. I think I know the moment they're going through is very helpful, but it's just like what is happening to us now, and like in the past. What's happening today? We were here. I was one of the leading voices in back about mysterious death in this country. What we have done is that we have put the spotlight on it more than ever before. Unless in the past, where police were not bringing it to the free. So for us now, in our government, what this government has done is an open government. So, sometimes because of our openness, people try to misconstrue and think these things, are just happening more than ever, even the issue about rape. No, it's not that. But for us, our style of engagement, I'm not giving justification for this kind of a mysterious killing, but I'm trying to say to you as a government, we have ensured that yes, indeed, it will never be business as usual, where these things will be kept under the carpet, but where we will put the spotlight on these kind of shitty and misgiving, so that the public can be in tune with those reality. That's why it's happening. Again, we have encouraged that the police need to be more robust. We think there's no time that we say, fear that people are dropping and dying. No, we understand that these things are happening, but at the same time, there are more confidence. Like we see today, the city police now, we create a new thing called the citizen engagement. The city police is in the community with the people. Instead of you coming and getting people, so we can be that preach, or we can be able to quiet a situation that cannot be handled by the city police, then we contact the Liberian National Police. Then we move there with time. When we move there within time. But I say to you, it's not like the entire Monrovia is gripped with fear and people dropping and dying on the street. No. But I think what we have done over the period of time, we have put a spotlight on some of those unfortunate and mysterious killings. So we also say again to the bereaved family, we've got no intention to give justification for the loss of your loved one. We want to extend our wholehearted condolences to each and every one of you who are going through these troubling time of your life. And again, we and policy makers, leaders of this country, as a mayor, we're working to ensure that this city will continuously remain safe, that the citizens will be protected, and that even though there will be some places where there will be slip through the crack, but let not that be used to define the city holistically. That yes, indeed, that things is not working in the city. There are a lot more positive things working in the city. There are a lot more things. There are other things in family yesterday where there are things where those things were returned to them. We give back to them. People are able to respond in time with them. So there are a lot more things we're doing. Now we're even trying to see how we have the mobile clinic, where you see in the night, we have people when you want to give birth, we rush you to JFK. Those are things we're doing. So a lot of things are happening here. Why it's true, there are other things, those skimmages, that are slipping through the crack. Let those things not be used as a face to define the progress of the livelihood of the city.